Excellence team in the Public Sector Modernization Division for their hard work in developing this policy. This will become the measurement for performance for all of us as public sector employees and for our respective organizations. The journey commenced based on a finding of an independent study we commissioned on customer satisfaction of government services. This study revealed some of the main needs of our customers were ordered queuing systems, sufficient space in waiting areas, convenient opening hours, efficient system, especially with our fee paying, as well as something that sometimes we forget, consideration of the needs of persons with disabilities and or hard to reach special interest populations. Arising from this, we recognized that our customers' desire for improvement in the quality of service delivery could not be sustainably achieved on an ad hoc basis. It must be systematic and enduring. Service issues need to be addressed speedily and in a comprehensive manner with adequate policies, processes, and an entrenched culture for change. Not in a single organization, but across the entire public sector. The Cabinet Office took responsibility to drive the change and created the Service Excellence Framework, which laid the foundation for the policy we launched today. I am extremely happy to report that this Service Excellence policy was developed through a series of workshops with the public sector, the private sector, and civil society stakeholders, where the team envisioned what service delivery should look like. From these sessions, it was determined that the service excellence in the public sector is more than the way we relate to our external customers, but also our internal customers. It incorporates increased engagement of our customers, the training and upskilling of our staff, and implementing robust and integrated technology that facilitate ease of access and more convenient options for business transactions. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, will only be accomplished through committed leadership. All ministries are responsible for implementing the service excellence policies across their portfolio. They are already engaged in developing and implementing service improvement plans, which outline the strategies and actions to fulfill the requirement of this policy. As we embrace and implement the service excellence policy, we will together create an environment where businesses and those who seek to do business with the government have the best possible experience. The Cabinet Office remains committed to its mandate to ensuring that the service excellence culture is reinforced through the public sector as we chart the path to achieve better service, better workforce, and better institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to watch a brief video, on the Service Excellence Program. Thank you.
The Public Sector Modernization Division in the Office of the Cabinet is charged with working closely with ministries, departments and agencies of the Government of Jamaica to lead, support and promote the Service Excellence policy and program. Service Excellence is at the heart of Vision 2030, which aims to make Jamaica a place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business. By adopting a new approach to service management, the Government of Jamaica is recommitting to removing unnecessary bureaucracy across the public sector, improving the efficiency of our processes, and increasing the quality of our products and services. Expected service standards include answering the phone by the third ring, dedicated waiting area for customers, access to the building area for the disabled, set turnaround times for queries. A channel for redress is established in a citizen's charter. The Office of the Cabinet has developed a framework which identifies the main elements of focus for creating a culture of service excellence within the public sector. There are two key pillars which form the basis of this policy. These are people engagement and performance excellence. People engagement focuses on the involvement of clients in the design and implementation of services that satisfy their needs. This includes engaging all our customers, including vulnerable and hard-to-reach groups, to address their needs and provide targeted service delivery.
The Service Excellence Policy, if given adequate support from all actors, will contribute to improving the quality of life of all Jamaicans, in particular, residents in volatile and vulnerable communities.
The Service Excellence Program is changing the way services are delivered by the Government of Jamaica. The Cabinet Office introduced the Government of Jamaica portal, the gateway to all government-related information and services. In partnership with the Companies Office of Jamaica, the PSMD has created the Electronic Business Registration Form (EBRF) that allows business owners to register business from anywhere in the world and at any time.
Greetings from the Jamaica Customer Service Association. I am the chairman and my name is Nsambi Jaja. It is such a joy and honor and a privilege to congratulate the Office of the Cabinet and the Public Sector Modernization Division for this amazing piece of work that has come out in the form of the Service Excellence Policy. What a fabulous document, just to read it, just to engage with it, the format, the content, the presentation, it's just amazing. And I think this is going to be a game changer for the public and the private sector in Jamaica.
Service excellence requires that customers are to be treated with empathy, fairness, and without discrimination.
Here at the Ministry of National Security, service excellence is a major priority. We provide service excellence by being friendly, being helpful, saying thank you, and practicing active listening. Service excellence is not a unit, branch, or section. It's everybody's job.
Every ministry now has a customer service improvement team charged with developing a customer service improvement program.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is committed to service excellence. This is demonstrated through several initiatives, including a completed customer service improvement plan with emphasis on customer service sensitization and awareness training for all our divisions and agencies. We have established the first government online customer feedback system, which allows customers to interact with us from anywhere in the world. Our customers' opinions are important, and they are able to provide feedback through an external customer service satisfaction survey annually. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries continues to improve service delivery and customer experience as a part of our Service Excellence Program.
Under the Service Excellence Program, public sector entities will establish systems that allow for effective service recovery, facilitating prompt and courteous resolution of service. Every ministry will have a citizens' charter, prominently placed in their waiting area as well as on their official website. This will outline in very clear terms what the entity's key service standards are and how a customer can seek redress.
The Ministry of Justice is pleased to endorse the Service Excellence Policy. As the lead administrator of justice in Jamaica, we have and we continue to implement activities that advance our mission. Our mission is about ensuring that we facilitate access to justice through the delivery of quality justice services. We have a very robust and committed customer service implementation team under the leadership of our permanent secretary, Mrs. Grayson Stewart McFarlane. And this team ensures that we provide leadership, and we monitor all activities surrounding service excellence. We have implemented a number of activities, and some we are in the process of implementing. These include our new customer service charter, which we have just completed, our website, which we are revamping to ensure that it is user-friendly, to be launched later on this year. And we also continue to have communication activities to ensure that we increase awareness about the services that we provide. And a big part of our initiatives include ensuring that we develop the capacity of our staff by training them and providing sensitization around important topics. We wholeheartedly support the Government of Jamaica's Service Excellence Policy as we take justice to the people of Jamaica.
Performance excellence is the second major pillar of service excellence. Through the modernization program, the Office of the Cabinet is leading the process to create a performance and achievement-driven public sector culture. This new whole of government performance culture will be driven by professional and highly motivated public sector professionals, empowered to serve effectively within the public sector environment. Performance excellence is built on 3 principles. The first principle of managing for excellence will ensure that accountability and management systems are established for service excellence. Our MDAs will have the appropriate structures in place with roles, responsibilities, and accountabilities clearly defined and reinforced. The second principle is capacities for excellence, which will enable public bodies to identify the required talent and provide means for continuous development. A public sector learning framework is being developed to build a culture of continuous learning and innovation within the public sector and signals a clear commitment by the government to investing in human capital development. With the appropriate and consistent training for its staff, the government is ensuring that both systems and its people will deliver better service. The promotion of an excellence culture is the third principle. This includes monitoring performance against service dimensions, as well as reinforcing excellence through appropriate rewards and recognition. The government is focused on being accountable for the delivery of quality service, and where staff and organizations perform well, this will be publicly rewarded and recognized. The public will also get an opportunity to decide on which entities will be rewarded once the GOJ Reward and Recognition Program is launched. With service excellence culture being institutionalized throughout the government of Jamaica, the entire public sector will be organized around the needs of its customers, directly accountable to them through guarantees of services which are of the highest quality, accessible, convenient, easy to use, integrated, responsive, cost-effective, and which assure redress when things go wrong. The Service Excellence Policy, developed by the Office of the Cabinet, accelerating a new day to Vision 2030.
On behalf of the Inter-American Development Bank, I congratulate the Government of Jamaica on the launch of the Service Excellence Policy, and I look forward to seeing results on the ground.
Hi, I'm Faye Ellington, Chairman of National Integrity Action. Principal Director, Professor Trevor Monroe, members of the board, and I unreservedly endorse the Government of Jamaica's Service Excellence Policy. NIA's mission, which is strengthening good governance, requires the enhancement of service excellence. Achieving public sector efficiency is built on 2 critical pillars: people engagement and performance excellence. This cannot be achieved if each member of the public sector, all arms of government, and the political directorate doesn't lead from a place of excellence. Jamaicans and people who do business in Jamaica deserve high-quality service. Remember, giving excellent service is simply respecting others.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, members of the Cabinet, permanent secretaries, heads of department, ministries, and agencies. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a civil servant. So notwithstanding the Prime Minister's approval, I have to do a bit of protocol. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of the media, the Jamaica Civil Service Association was formed on the 6th of May, 1919. And our commitment then was to ensure that we look after the well-being of public officers coming out of World War I. And most of the challenges that we faced then still exists, but in different form in 2022. In 1919, we were grappling with a global pandemic, the Spanish flu. We are grappling in 2019 and now with a pandemic. And this week, we are celebrating the excellence of the service that was given by our health workers in keeping the country afloat and functioning. As we reflect on service excellence and what it means for us in the public sector, it brings to mind the Jamaica Civil Service Association's mission statement, a part of it, that we seek to uphold the highest qualities of professional service to the nation through a guarantee of a highly trained workforce of competent and committed persons. So our interests as a strategic partner of the Jamaican government continues as it was in 1919 to today in 2023. When we look at the work that we have accomplished as a strategic partner, and we are still working on it, to craft policies and programs and to support those programs that is seeking to enhance service delivery. We reflect on our campaign of many years on the delivery of quality public services through the support of our Global Federation, Public Services International. And a part of that speaks to working smarter, not harder. The new world of work is bringing change to how we as public officers conduct, how we deliver service, and how we reflect on giving quality services in those new world of work paradigms. The conversations that we're having now is not just about what Marjorie indicated in the presentation or what you have seen in the video presentations this morning. We are now looking at policies to ensure that the work-life integration is optimized for public sector workers. And in that vein, I'm happy for the announcement that was made by Minister Nigel Clark yesterday about us looking at maternity leave, adoptive leave, parental leave for fathers, because we do recognize that the work-life integration is extremely important in the modern Jamaica, where the extended family is almost non-existent. And so as workers in a public service that is 60% women at least, we recognize that that work-life integration and its impact on the delivery of excellent service is something that must be guided by policy, and we welcome with open arms the move that has been created to launch as a policy to bring all the work that we have been doing over many, many years. This is an evolution of when we had the customer service competition within government to raise the level of customer service amongst ministries, departments, and agencies to the public, and to put public sector workers in a mindset that they are not only the deliverers of public service, but they access public services as well. And so they have a vested interest on both sides to ensure that public services are delivered in a manner that is going to lend itself to the development of Jamaica, land we love. Remarks are supposed to be brief, and I will keep those brief, and to applaud the Cabinet Office for the work that it has done in bringing us this far, and to ensure that we have put all the facets of excellent service together in a fashion that will allow us as public sector workers to not only deliver quality public services, but to be able to access them as efficiently as we would love to as citizens of state Jamaica. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, having heard from Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Grant, I am sure we're now even more eagerly awaiting the keynote address for this morning. And so without further ado, we will now hear from the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Please put your hands together for him.
This morning, I am pleased to launch the Service Excellence Policy for the public sector. In March 2019, the Cabinet gave its approval for the implementation of the Government of Jamaica's Service Excellence Framework. And as a result, we are now at the point where we can launch the Service Excellence Policy. I wish to thank the many stakeholders that participated in the consultations, the visioning sessions, and the focus groups. I commend the members of the technical working groups, and I acknowledge and recognize the work of the team in the Public Sector Modernization Division of the Office of the Cabinet that led this process. The ministries, departments, and agencies within the public sector provide a wide range of services to our citizens, residents, and investors. It is through these public sector bodies that core services such as education, social protection, health, justice, security, and economic management are delivered. In addition, public sector entities also provide services in important areas such as cultural preservation, sports development, birth registration, and business regulation. The Government of Jamaica has, over the past 25 to 30 years, introduced several initiatives designed to improve customer service and, by extension, the efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery and performance within the public sector. These initiatives include the Citizens Charter Program. How many of you remember that program? This was in 1994. The Customer Service Competition mentioned earlier, and that was in 2002. The Customer Service Improvement Program in 2006. And more recently, the Customer Service Monitoring and Evaluation System in 2010. So we have been at it for some time. So I have a section in my script here which I'll read it as it is written. While there is some evidence that these initiatives have had some positive impact in individual public sector entities, there is a general perception, and we might just add reality, reinforced by customer experience, that's the euphemistic way of saying reality, that the quality of customer service in the public sector is in need of improvement, another euphemistic way of stating the problem. Our citizens expect and deserve quality service in all interactions, and as the largest service provider, the public sector must lead in that regard. I was expecting to hear a rousing endorsement of that statement. I know the listening public is at one with this sentiment. Ladies and gentlemen, we must always connect the dots, and I will be doing some connection of dots after I finish my written script. Improved efficiency and service means improved productivity, which means a positive impact on the growth of our economy, which means more jobs, which means our citizens prosper, and when our citizens prosper, we all benefit. In addition, when we improve service delivery, we reduce waste, reduce costs, we receive less complaints, we have happier citizens, we have happier team members, and somehow that just dramatically translates into increased global competitiveness. But it is true, it does. Increased global competitiveness makes Jamaica more attractive for investments and therefore provides new opportunities for our people, and the cycle continues with more jobs. The intention of the policy is to change the behavior of the public sector when providing service to our customers and to create a culture of excellence across the public sector. We need to meet and indeed exceed the public's expectation. We must become customer-focused, and this applies to both our internal and external customers. We therefore have to set performance standards, improve capacity, promote excellence, and establish effective systems of management and accountability. As the government establishes a culture of service excellence, all MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies will be asked to constantly challenge themselves to ensure that the goods and services they provide are designed for the benefit of the customer. Public servants must empathize with the customer. And I want to pause at that word, empathy. Empathy is oftentimes absent in our general social interaction as people. But to try and incorporate it in an almost mechanistic endeavor, which is the public sector service, can be a tall order. But nevertheless, the policy actually speaks to public servants having empathy. We must request the input of the people we serve and be receptive to their feedback. Negative feedback should not be viewed in a bad way, but see it as an opportunity to improve customer service. We must treat everyone with care and respect, mindful that some of our people may be genuinely fearful of coming in to discuss their issues. They may not express themselves clearly, and that is a challenge in our society. Not everyone has the level of literacy to articulate effectively their concerns, their problems. And so that requires empathy, which will inevitably lead to patience, which will inevitably mean that you will get to the root cause of the concern, which will mean that you will be able to effectively address the issues. So it starts with a posture of empathy. Empathy is simply listening, withholding judgment. Oh, and we are notorious as public servants for giving our judgment on customers. Emotionally connecting and communicating a message to our customers that they are not alone in their suffering or distress. I mean, just that simple change in our forward-facing posture could solve so many unnecessary challenges that we face in serving the public. This approach will make the encounter between yourself and your customer a pleasant one for all parties concerned. This approach will also play a part in making Jamaica a kinder and gentler society. And, I'm certain that there are persons listening here and in social media saying, which Jamaica is he speaking about? We have become so accepting of a harsh and overly assertive society that it is almost difficult to imagine Jamaica a gentler place. Across government, there are many significant changes being made to improve services and systems to create better experiences for all stakeholders. And this morning I will share some examples. You would have seen the Ministry of Agriculture featured in the proposed short video. But the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has implemented a customer service feedback system for requests, complaints, and comments and suggestions. And customers can track their requests using a generated reference number or email address, and they will receive a response in a timely manner. I'm sure the farmers are very satisfied with this. This new system allows the ministry's diverse customer base, which is primarily situated in rural Jamaica, to remain in constant contact with the ministry without need to physically travel to Kingston. All ministries, departments, and agencies are expected to implement the policy and monitor the quality of services delivered across all portfolios. Permanent secretaries, heads of departments and government agencies, and all managers and leaders in your respective divisions, departments, and units are expected to embrace and implement this policy with enthusiasm and ambition. There must be leadership from the top and full commitment throughout the public sector. We need to ensure that our customers do not lose faith and trust in this initiative. As we all know, we already have a trust deficit in our country, and all of us as public servants need to ensure that that deficit is reduced and not widened. The success of this policy initiative is therefore vital. Leaders must walk the talk, keep the vision in front of the team, and hold everyone accountable, including themselves. Your actions speak louder than your words. You will have to reinforce the message daily. And not just reinforce, but where you see your staff doing well, commend them. Highlight successes and reward effort. And I'm sure that that will lead to behavior change within your entity. Treat complaints with respect and address them with speed. And then review and learn from situations with a view to improving the process. Seek out suggestions from your customers, and most importantly, show your team and your customers that you care. The citizens of our country rightly expect better and improved services from all MDAs, and we must deliver. The customer-centric approach will require behavior change in many instances, so we recognize that it will not take place overnight. But we must start the process and place the required emphasis on it to ensure that the implementation of policy is successful. The entities that have oversight responsibilities to ensure that the policies are implemented would be the Office of the Cabinet, which is responsible for the promulgation and monitoring of the implementation of the policy. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service will review and approve the proposed structure of the service excellence function and ensure that all customer service units within ministries are sufficiently staffed. And the Management Institute for National Development, MIND, will facilitate the capacity building of public sector employees for service excellence. I will close by reminding all permanent secretaries, heads of entities, and department heads that you play a critical role in inculcating a service excellence culture within the public sector, while at the same time improving sector-wide performance. Work to reshape the culture of the public sector is ongoing. You will be required to provide the guidance and support for this process, and the Cabinet Office will be right there beside you and will be providing you the necessary leadership, guidance, and support to successfully implement the policy. I wish to make a few some observations. Now, yesterday the Minister of Finance would have made a significant, well, several significant announcements relative to the public sector. And I want to connect some dots. Let's start with what we're addressing here. How the public feels about their public service. And I think any assessment that is done about how the public feels about their public service, that it would not be satisfactory. This is not to say that there are not areas of excellence, pockets of excellence, but indeed that's the definition of Jamaica. We have great samples, but we don't do well at mainstreaming excellence. This policy is designed, as policies and attempts before, to mainstream a culture of excellence. There are many issues which prevent the mainstreaming of excellence. One of them is the remuneration of public sector workers. In the back of the mind of the public sector worker, not in every public sector worker, mind you, so I'm speaking generally, there is a sense that I am not being paid enough to deliver the service that is expected of me. I already see the criticisms coming. But you know me, my job is to spark these kinds of conversation, because these things are operating privately in the minds of the citizens, but we see them reflected in public behavior that makes it difficult to solve the problems. So I'm not here seeking any political friendship or popularity. This is about getting the job done and grappling with the real problem. So I have to talk the things, as we say. And so that is operating in the minds of public sector workers. Also operating in the minds of public sector workers is that, aside from remuneration, resources. We're not given the resources, the tools to do the job. Now, my position is that there is value in the argument. It is a valid argument, but it is not an excuse. It may be a reason for low service, but it doesn't excuse low service. Because built into the argument, this transactional argument regarding service, is a sense that the public sector exists to serve itself. A very dangerous posture. And that is what we need to change. The public sector does not exist to serve itself. And that posture leads to a disconnect between what we pay the public sector and what the public sector contributes to GDP. Now, if we are going to be truthful to ourselves and say, how are we going to solve this problem of increasing service value to the customer and address the valid complaints of public sector workers regarding their remuneration and their resourcing to do their jobs? How are we going to do it? Well, we must have, as a nation, a very honest discussion. And this discussion must revolve around productivity. Because a lot of conversations going on, but not once is the word productivity, which a large part of productivity is service, customer service, is mentioned. What comes first, the productivity or the pay? The pay or the productivity? I'm not going to get involved in that chicken or egg situation. What I'm saying is both have to happen together. So right now the Ministry of Finance is engaged with our partners, the unions. Glad to see O'Neill here, endorsing this customer service as critical and important in addressing the remuneration issues, and to acknowledge that remuneration is not just about cash. Remuneration is about how do we live and work. So you would have seen yesterday the Minister of Finance making an announcement about how workers are going to be able to live and work regarding innovative things like paternity leave. And I think it's quite good and welcome. There will be a lot of debate, I'm certain, but the public debate will resolve. We will come to a good equilibrium in this regard, but the country would be advanced. My job, however, is to today make another announcement parallel to that, which is we are improving how workers are able to live and work, but also the standard that we require of them in terms of performance and productivity to serve the public, of which they are a part, of which the very public sector workers complain. And I give you a perfect example. Someone who works in the public sector called me up to complain about treatment in hospitals. A public sector worker complaining about another public sector worker. And this is happening in our society every day, and I want the public to know that the government is not blind to it, but it's not the government's only role to speak from a bully pulpit to say, you must, you must, you must. The important role of the government is to develop the policy, which is what we are doing today. So people might be wondering, what is it that I'm launching? What am I talking about? Well, we have developed a comprehensive policy framework, and the policy is the vision broken down into a mission, then broken down into targets assigned to leaders with measurable outcomes and results, with a process to evaluate and monitor, and to take that evaluation and feedback to address the vision, to remission, to change targets, and it's an ongoing process. So we have developed that today, and we are now handing it over, essentially, to the ministries, departments, and agencies. And my job today is to say to the heads who are gathered here that this is now a critical mission of the government, which is also connected to the grand transformation of the public sector, which is to improve the remuneration of the workers, improve the resources that they need to do their jobs, but to also set the standards and expectations of their performance to increase their productivity, which will generate the resources to sustain, in a fiscally responsible way, improved remuneration and resources. And I hope that I would have made the connection, and those who are looking to crawl from out of their critical holes to make nonsensical comments would just go back in and don't distract the nation. From the critical things that we have to do here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
We have got the charge, and with that, our Prime Minister ends. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister, for issuing such a strong charge to us all. And so, we have heard, we've been listening about all of these wonderful things about this service excellence policy. It's now time for us to unveil the Government of Jamaica's service excellence policy. And for that, we invite our Prime Minister and the Chief Technical Director, Mrs. Marjorie Johnson, to move forward for the unveiling of the service excellence policy. After which, we'll be handing over the policy. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the cover of the Service Excellence Policy, which we are launching today, which has been launched today by our Prime Minister. And so, we're really working the Prime Minister hard today, and we're working him hard. Prime Minister, we apologize. We're working you really hard today. No, we are going to invite you, sir, to hand over the policy to members of the Cabinet. To members, to ministries, members of the Cabinet, starting with permanent secretaries as well, Prime Minister. The ministers have their charge. All right. All right. So we will start with the permanent secretaries. So the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology is where we will start. The Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology.
So Minister Vaz will accept on
behalf of the Permanent Secretary.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Long overdue.
All right, good.
I will deliver it within 15 minutes, Prime Minister.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries.
No, it's the Permanent Secretary here. Let it come first.
We can give both. Yeah.
Permanent Secretary was serious about this thing. Serious.
We are the best performers in this.
The Ministry of Education and Youth.
First of all, you have a very large public, and they are very vocal, and I still get the call. So, Minister, you want to join in this one?
Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Minister Sabuda is here. Yes, but he says you are the person responsible to ensuring. By the way, you also have a large public, and they complain quite a bit. They complain about getting their NIS, they complain about PAR, there are all kinds of complaints there. But I am saying to you, Permanent Secretary, that you have to mainstream empathy, especially in that ministry when you're dealing with pensioners, persons with disabilities, and persons whose pride may be affected because they have to be depending on state welfare. Empathy is important.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Well, you are the ministry in which diplomacy. I don't think I need to say much.
Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Yes, much of what is in this document is not necessarily enshrined in law. But it may very well be that some of these service standards could be enshrined in law, and a part of the reform of our legal system could be to look at this policy and see what can be enshrined. Thank you, sir. Very good.
The Ministry of Local Government.
This is also one of the ministries where we get significant complaints. NSWMA, the local authorities, rural water. But again, I would say that for your ministry, feedback is important, and creating that feedback loop to addressing the issues, that's critical.
The Ministry of Transport and Mining.
You know, Minister Shaw has a particular style that is very empathetic. No, I'm saying you are naturally empathetic and endearing. And I know that you can be a balm sometimes on difficult situations. You have that style. So it's important that the ministry itself be responsive. There's quite a bit to be done, and I know that you have started. Thank you, Minister. Thank you.
The Ministry of Justice.
Yes? You are part of the program already, and you have started.
No comment on that one.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness.
I will deliver it personally.
Thank you. And of course, we have those who would have worked very closely with this policy. And so we have the Office of the Prime Minister and the Office of the Cabinet, Prime Minister's own ministries. So first to the Office of the Prime Minister and Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. My apologies. Yes, PS, you're doing multiple roles today. So yes, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. She gets three.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And we are committing to do whatever is required to improve our service quality. Chairman, watch out.
The Office of the Cabinet. CTD, we are going to ask you to accept on behalf of the Office of the Cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just about come to the end of this program. We have received our charge colleagues, we apologize. This is one of our challenges of trying to do things efficiently when we don't have all our ministries registering and we're just doing our checklist. Apologies for that. So we have the Ministry of Finance, very important, and a partner with us on so many.
Let me talk about the Ministry of Finance. Because your public is really all the other ministries. I believe with here the complaints. But I know your job is you can't make any mistake. Your ministry is the last stop. So we understand. But I still believe that a smile and quick responsiveness. You know, these are not taking your minister. But it's very important because you have the public service attached in that ministry. And really the changes will come by virtue of the statutory authorities that you have to push the change. Very good.
The Ministry of Industry, Investments and Commerce. And finally, the Ministry of Tourism, and then the Ministry of Youth and National Security. All right. Okay, so we have the Ministry of Tourism. Yes, Prime Minister.
That customer service is going on here.
Boy, Prime Minister, you know how it is on customer service? You take the flag, you just stay and you say, we apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize. So we are taking the Ministry of National Security. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports. The Ministry of Tourism.
Okay. Well, that is a customer service mecca. I suspect suspect you said they don't need this policy.
No, they're implementing, and we will get it to them, Prime Minister. And we certainly will get it to them.
That's it.
I believe that covers all our ministries. Thank you so much, Prime Minister. Thank you, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the ending of this program, allow me to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the organizers for demonstrating service excellence. And as the Prime Minister indicated in his speech, you know, we at times have to exercise some amount of empathy. So thank you for exercising empathy, even just now. So we thank our organizers for putting together this function. We want to thank all the persons who would have participated. Special mention made to Reverend Asta Carlisle, who opened with prayer and set us off on the right footing this morning, to CTD Johnson, Mr. Grant, and of course the most honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has given us the charge, who has said to us, let us make a difference in the public sector, starting with empathy. To you, the participants, thank you all. It is said that excellence is not a destination. It is a continuous journey that never ends. We have received that charge today. And how will we go forward? My hope is that as we all leave this place, we will leave committed to the journey and to the redefined public sector marked by service excellence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and do enjoy the rest of your day. There are some tokens that I'm sure our team will be happy to share with you.